There's something magical about growing older. It's not just the wisdom we accumulate or the stories we carry with use, it's also this incredible opportunity to keep reinventing ourselves. But let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to stay sharp, vibrant, and full of life no matter their age? Meanwhile, others might feel like they're slowing down more than they'd like to admit. What's the difference? Is it genetics, luck, or is it something else entirely? Here's what I've learned after years of studying habits that promote longevity and brain health. It's not just one thing. It's a combination of small, consistent actions that make all the difference. And here's the best part: you don't need fancy gadgets, expensive supplements, or hours at the gym to do it. These are simple habits anyone can incorporate into their daily routine. Habits that science shows can actually keep your brain young and thriving. Let's start with the first habit. Something so easy, you might already be doing it without realizing its power. I'm talking about staying curious. Now, think back to when you were younger. Remember how everything felt new and exciting? Maybe it was learning how to ride a bike, discovering a favorite book, or exploring a hobby that made time fly by. That sense of wonder isn't just for kids. It's essential for keeping our brains active as we grow older. When we stay curious, we challenge our minds in ways that build new neural connections. Think of your brain like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. So how do you tap into curiosity today? Start by trying something new. It could be as simple as picking up a crossword puzzle, learning a few phrases in another language, or even taking an online class about something you've always been interested in but never had the chance to explore. One woman I spoke with recently started painting in her late 60s. She told me she hadn't drawn anything since elementary school, but now she spends hours every week creating art. She says it feels like her mind has come alive again. Now, let's move on to the second habit, staying socially connected. I know sometimes socializing can feel exhausting, especially if you're used to having a quieter lifestyle. But hear me out. There's a reason why loneliness is often called the silent killer. Studies show that staying engaged with friends, family, or even casual acquaintances doesn't just lift your spirits, it actually protects your brain from decline. When you interact with others, whether it's through deep conversations or lighthearted banter, your brain is working hard to process emotions, read body language, and respond thoughtfully. All of these activities stimulate areas of the brain responsible for memory and cognitive function. If you're wondering where to start, try joining a local club, volunteering, or simply reaching out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. A gentleman I met last year joined a gardening group in his community, and he said it completely changed his outlook on life. Not only did he learn new skills, but he also formed friendships that gave him a renewed sense of purpose. The key is finding something that resonates with you: a shared interest, a cause you care about, or even a regular coffee date with a neighbor. Before we go any further, I want to take a moment to remind you how important it is to share this kind of information with others. If you're finding value in what we're discussing, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. That way, you'll never miss tips and strategies designed to help you live your best life, no matter your age. And if you've tried any of these habits yourself, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Now, let's talk about the third habit, prioritizing quality sleep. You've probably heard plenty about how vital sleep is for overall health, but here's the thing: it's absolutely critical for maintaining a youthful brain. During sleep, your brain goes into cleanup mode, flushing out toxins and consolidating memories. Without enough rest, those processes get disrupted, which over time can lead to foggy thinking and memory lapses. But here's the good news: it's never too late to improve your sleep habits. Start by establishing a calming bedtime routine. Maybe it's reading a book, listening to soft music, or practicing gentle stretches before bed. Avoid screens at least an hour before turning in, because the blue light can trick your brain into thinking it's still daytime. And if you find yourself waking up during the night, don't stress about it. Instead, focus on creating a peaceful environment: dim lighting, comfortable bedding, and maybe even a white noise machine if that helps. I remember speaking with a woman in her 70s who struggled with insomnia for years. She decided to overhaul her nighttime routine, cutting out caffeine after lunch and setting a consistent bedtime. Within weeks, she noticed a dramatic improvement not just in her energy levels but also in her ability to recall names and details effortlessly. Small changes, big results. As we continue, I want to encourage you to reflect on these habits we've discussed so far. Are there areas where you could make adjustments? Even tiny shifts can have a profound impact over time. Let's keep building on this foundation together, shall we? Next, we'll dive into another powerful habitone that might surprise you. But first, take a moment to think about how you can apply what we've covered today. Your brain will thank you for it. And remember, you're not alone on this journey. Share this video with a friend or loved one who might benefit from these insights. Together, we can inspire each other to live healthier, happier lives. Now that we've talked about staying curious, staying connected, and prioritizing sleep, let's move on to another powerful habitone that might surprise you but is incredibly effective: physical movement. And no, I'm not just talking about hitting the gym or running marathons. It's about finding ways to keep your body active in a way that feels good for you. You see, our brains thrive on movement. When we exercise even in small, manageable ways, it boosts blood flow to the brain, which helps deliver oxygen and nutrients essential for cognitive function. But beyond the science, there's something magical about how moving your body can lift your spirits and clear your mind. Have you ever noticed how a simple walk around the block can make you feel more alert and focused? That's because movement isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. For example, one gentleman I met in his late 60s started taking daily walks after dinner. At first, he did it just to get some fresh air, but soon he realized it wasn't just his legs feeling stronger, it was his mind too. He told me he began solving problems he'd been stuck on for weeks during those walks. Whether it's walking, swimming, dancing, or even gardening, any form of movement counts. The key is consistency. Start small, maybe 5 minutes a day, and build from there. Over time, you'll notice not only improvements in your physical health, but also in your ability to think clearly and stay sharp. Speaking of thinking clearly, let's talk about another habit that plays a huge role in keeping your brain young: managing stress. Now, I know what you're thinking: easier said than done, right? Life has a way of throwing curveballs, especially as we age. But here's the thing: chronic stress doesn't just affect your mood, it actually impacts your brain structure over time. High levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, can shrink areas of the brain responsible for memory and learning. That's why finding healthy ways to manage stress isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. So, how do you do it? One of the simplest yet most effective techniques is deep breathing. You don't need any special equipment or training, just a few moments of intentional focus. Try this. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. Hold it for a count of 4, and then exhale gently through your mouth. Repeat that 3 or 4 times. Notice how your shoulders relax and your mind quiets down. It's almost like hitting a reset button for your nervous system. Another great tool is mindfulness meditation. Even spending 5 minutes a day, sitting quietly and focusing on your breath, can help rewire your brain to handle stress better. I remember hearing from a woman who started practicing mindfulness after years of feeling overwhelmed by caregiving responsibilities. She admitted she was skeptical at first, but within weeks, she noticed a shift. Her thoughts didn't spiral as much, and she felt calmer overall. She even joked that her family noticed the difference before she did. They said she seemed lighter somehow. Stress management looks different for everyone, so experiment with what works best for you. Maybe it's journaling, listening to music, or spending time outdoors. The goal is to find activities that help you feel grounded and present. Before we go further, I want to pause for a moment and acknowledge something important. Making changes, even small ones, can feel daunting sometimes. But here's the truth: you don't have to overhaul your entire life overnight. Progress happens step by step, and every little effort adds up. If you're finding value in these tips, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Sharing this content with someone else who might benefit means a lot, and it helps us reach more people who are looking for practical ways to live healthier happier lives. Now, let's talk about one more habit that deserves its own spotlight: nourishing your brain with the right foods. What you eat directly affects how well your brain functions, and certain nutrients are real powerhouses when it comes to supporting cognitive health. For instance, omega-3 fatty acids found in fish like salmon and sardines are amazing for brain health. They help build and repair brain cells, which is crucial as we age. Leafy greens like spinach and kale are packed with antioxidants that protect your brain from oxidative stress. And don't forget berries. Blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries are loaded with compounds that improve memory and delay age-related cognitive decline. But here's the best part: you don't need to follow a complicated diet plan to reap these benefits. It's all about adding nutrient-rich foods to your meals in ways that feel sustainable. Maybe it's swapping out white rice for quinoa, sprinkling chia seeds into your morning yogurt, or snacking on nuts instead of chips. Small shifts can make a big difference over time. One man I spoke with recently shared how he started incorporating more vegetables into his diet simply by blending them into smoothies. He said it made him feel sharper and more energized throughout the day. As we continue exploring these habits, I encourage you to reflect on which ones resonate most with you. Is there an area where you feel ready to make a change? Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Let's keep building on this foundation together, shall we? Next, we'll dive into another powerful habitone that might be simpler than you expect, but first, take a moment to think about how you can apply what we've covered today. Your brain will thank you for it. And always remember, you're not alone on this journey. Share your thoughts or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Together, we can inspire each other to live our best lives at any age. Now, let's talk about another habit that might seem simple but has a profound impact: staying mentally active. You've probably heard the saying, use it or lose it. And when it comes to your brain, that couldn't be more true. Just like any other muscle in your body, your brain needs regular exercise to stay strong and agile. The great news is that mental stimulation doesn't have to be boring or feel like a treat. Can actually be fun. Think about activities that challenge your mind in new ways. Maybe it's learning how to play a musical instrument, picking up a new language, or even trying your hand at puzzles like Sudoku or crosswords. One woman I met started taking online art classes in her early 70s, and she told me it felt like her brain was waking up after years of being on autopilot. She said she loved the sense of accomplishment that came with creating something new, and she noticed her memory and focus improving too. The key is to find something that excites you, something that makes you curious and eager to learn more. When you're engaged and having fun, your brain thrives. Another powerful way to keep your brain sharp is through storytelling. Sharing your life experiences, whether through writing, speaking, or even recording videos, helps reinforce memories and strengthens neural connections. Plus, it's a beautiful way to leave a legacy for future generations. A gentleman I spoke with recently started writing short stories about his childhood. At first, he did it just for himself, but soon his grandchildren began asking for more. He told me it gave him a renewed sense of purpose and joy, knowing that his stories were connecting him to the people he loves most. Whether you write in a journal, share anecdotes with friends, or create a family history project, storytelling is a wonderful way to keep your mind active and your heart full. Before we move on, I want to remind you how important it is to share these insights with others. If you're finding value in what we're discussing, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Together, we can inspire each other to live healthier, happier lives. And if you've tried any of these habits yourself, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear about your experience. Now, let's talk about one final habit that ties everything together: cultivating gratitude. Gratitude isn't just a feel-good practice. It's a powerful tool for keeping your brain young and resilient. Studies show that regularly practicing gratitude can improve mood, reduce stress, and even enhance cognitive function. When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small, it shifts your mindset and creates a ripple effect of positivity. So, how do you make gratitude a daily habit? It can be as simple as starting or ending your day by reflecting on 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be big things sometimes. The smallest moments bring the greatest joy. For example, maybe you're grateful for a kind word from a neighbor, a delicious meal, or the beauty of a sunrise. One man I know keeps a gratitude jar on his kitchen counter. Every evening, he writes down one thing he's grateful for and drops it in the jar. At the end of the year, he reads them all, and he says it's one of the happiest traditions he's ever created. These little rituals remind us of the goodness in our lives, even during challenging times. As we wrap up, I want to take a moment to reflect on everything we've covered. From staying curious and socially connected to nourishing your brain with the right foods, moving your body, managing stress, staying mentally active, and practicing gratitude, each of these habits plays a vital role in keeping your brain young and vibrant. But here's the most important takeaway. You don't have to do everything perfectly. Small, consistent actions add up over time, and every effort counts. Remember, aging is not something to fear. It's an opportunity to grow, evolve, and embrace new possibilities. You have the power to shape your journey, one step at a time. So ask yourself, which of these habits resonates most with you? Where can you start today? Even the tiniest change can lead to incredible results over time. And always remember, you're not alone on this journey. Share your thoughts, questions, or experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Together, we can support and inspire each other to live our best lives at any age. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might benefit from these tips. Here's to living your best life, one filled with curiosity, connection, and endless possibilities. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care and keep shining.